Good morning, Unity of Walnut Creek. So great to see you all. How's everybody doing up home and in the booth? Outside, my friends outside. Great to see you. We have Tyrone Cosey.
I woke up this morning with my mind
stayed on spirit.
I woke up this morning with my mind
stayed on spirit.
I woke up this morning with my mind
stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
All day long I keep my mind walking and talking with my mind. Good exercise, right?
Stayed on spirit.
I'm walking and talking with my mind.
Stayed on spirit.
I'm walking and talking with my mind.
Stayed on spirit. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go.
Wow.
Thank you, guys. Oh, Tyrone Cosey. Cozy. And Lisa, thank you so much. That was a great way to get started here. Good morning, everybody, and welcome again to Unity of Walnut Creek. My name is Carl.
And my name is Carolyn Jansen. Welcome to our services. Please join us in turning to the camera and waving to the folks at home.
Because we have two cameras.
Your presence is welcomed here. Thank you.
As you already heard, we're in for an amazing treat musically this morning. I did the 9:30 service, and Tyrone, you guys just knock it out of the park. I'm so happy to have you here. Tyrone is accompanied as an accomplished soloist, songwriter, and choir director. He served for more than 35 years as the founding choir director and minister of music for the East Bay Church of Religious Science.
Wow. Wow.
Which is
Tyrone has also performed as a soloist for multiple churches, spiritual centers, and various other venues, including Carnegie Hall. And currently, Tyrone is the director of the East Bay Men's Chorus, an active member of the Heart and Soul Center of Light Ensemble, and a personal vocal coach.
And Tyrone is joined this morning by Thomas on piano,
Here Thomas.
Tony on bass, and Mason on the drums. Thank you for being with us today.
And this morning, Reverend Kristen continues the Peaceful Mind, Peaceful World series. Today's message is entitled Holding Space.
Before we begin, I invite you to turn your phones to silence as we enjoy this sacred time together.
And let us take a moment to be grateful for the land upon which our center sits. This is Ohlone, Bay Miwok, and Gott land.
We honor its ancestry, and we are grateful for those who came before us. We commit to taking care of these sacred grounds and Mother Earth.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. Our vision for the world is we envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness.
Our mission is who we have come here to be. So let's say this together. We are a
loving,
loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. And our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom.
If you're with us for the first time, welcome, and feel free to raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please visit our bookstore, which is across the way there, and you'll receive a welcome packet and a gift. And if you need help in receiving it, just please let the usher know. We hope you'll choose to stay and visit with us on the patio after the services. Welcome.
Connection cards are available in the newcomer welcome packets and in the seat pockets in front of you. These are for everyone. With this card, you may submit a prayer request, and our prayer team will pray with you throughout the week.
You may also share feedback or request information, and just please place the card in the basket with the offering. For those of you that are viewing online, the connection cards are available on the Watch Live page of our website.
So please consider comfort levels when greeting one another before and after services with namaste bows, elbow bumps, handshakes, or hugs. We welcome you to socialize on the patio after service and visit our bookstore.
Our campus is open for on-site classes and groups. While the board is reevaluating our COVID policies, masks must be worn indoors at Unity. Please wear your mask properly, covering your mouth and your nose over your chin. And masking outdoors is optional.
There are several things to highlight this week. Please mark your calendar for April 24th from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. We're going to have an Earth Fair right here on the property. And it's going to be fun, it's going to be musical, and it's going to be informative. And if you have any questions, you can see me or Sarah or somebody, or Nancy, and Lee's here, outside on the patio, and we'll give you a little more information. You'll see a lot more about it in the upcoming Unity Connects. We have some sweet news. Unity's youth are having a Yum Raiser with C's Candy. We have fundraisers. This is a Yum Raiser. So visit our online C store where you can place your order and the candy will be shipped directly to you.
And as you know, C's Candies make great gifts. And the sweetest part is that the youth program will receive 50% from each item purchased. The online C's Candy store is open until Friday, March 25th. So please see the website for the link.
I invite you to join Bob Hardy at the Creative Paint Workshop on Sunday, March 27th. If you have no art experience and wonder how to express without limitations, this is for you. All paints and supplies are there, and you'll be set up ahead of time. And I know we've done this a couple times, and they have sold out, so have fun.
So be sure to sign up quickly, because I know I have not been able to make it yet. I've been waiting too long. So please reserve your seat on the website today. See our website for a full listing of all of our events in person and online. And if you're not receiving our weekly e-news, use the connection card link on the Watch Live page to sign up.
You may also wish to activate your faith by joining us for Unity's noon meditation. We meet in person and on Zoom Monday through Thursday at noon. Join us as we take a midday break from doing to the practice of being.
It's a great way to connect with Spirit, practice mindfulness, and affirmative prayer for others on our Unity list and beyond. Now we invite Reverend Kristen to the platform for something very special.
Whoa, sorry about that. Morning. It's good to see you all. So I wanted to first make an acknowledgement of somebody who has been unbelievably dedicated to our community. She's moving to Tahoe, but not totally leaving us, and that is Diana Messitz. Yeah, she's unfortunately not here in person, so we can love her up in person, but hope you're watching on the camera, Diana, because we are so very grateful for your service. Diana is the person who's been doing the slides. Every Sunday, all those slides that you see, she's been doing those. We've lost track 15 or 20 years, every Sunday without fail. So an unbelievable consistency and reliability and creativity with that. She's also served on our board, and most recently, she served as board president. She is the person who's usually in the kitchen, making food, catering events for us. So, and many other ways she served special events like crab feed and so on, and helping with the youth. So big, big, big thank you to Diana Messitz. I hope you feel the love, Diana. We also have something very special happening this morning. We are dedicating 11 new members to our community. Yes. And 3 folks who have been members for a long time decided to come to the Unity Basics class and join us in our membership ceremony to renew their membership vows, shall we say. So I'd like to invite them forward. Our new members are Donna Headley, Christina, also known as Tina Kearns, Wendy Littler, Lorna McLaughlin, Dana Schmidt, Don Shaw, you've seen that guy around for a while. Richard Flander is renewing today. Lucia Torres Simon is also renewing today, as is Michelle Flander, but she wasn't able to come. In addition, we had 5 members that were present earlier this morning. So we give thanks to the whole crew. And wonderful to have a few sessions together to get to know you all a little bit better and have some deep discussions about our principles and practices. So just a little bit about membership at Unity of Walnut Creek. It's about committing, of course, to this community and making a personal commitment to one's own spiritual growth. So by welcoming all of you into membership and affirming membership for some of you, we recognize your desire to know God, to understand, love, and live spiritual principle. We also acknowledge your desire to take responsibility for your own awakening and consciously commune with Spirit in prayer and meditation. And your desire to support Unity of Walnut Creek with your presence, your participation, your prayers, talents, service, and tithes. And so, if you are ready and willing to accept these responsibilities and dedicate yourself to these principles, please say, I am. I am. Right, that was enthusiastic. So the first part of our membership ceremony is a water baptism. And we don't do a full dunk, but but I do have with me some really special water. It is from the headwaters of the Sacramento River, a very pure place, so very pure water that we're using that's already blessed. And this is just a release, a letting go of anything that might stand in the way of the highest and best good for these beloved folks that are before us. And then it's followed by an affirmation that we speak together, affirming our commitment. And then there'll be a little closing that will include you. You'll see how that goes when we get there. Don't want to give you too many things. So now I invite you to affirm our commitment to renew your journey in this community together. I affirm my dedication to Unity's spiritual principles as I understand them, and my willingness to seek, learn, and express them. I affirm my intent to behold and honor my body, and to love to the best of my ability. I affirm my commitment to honor my body, soul, and our earth home by living in wholeness and unity with all life. I affirm my practice of prayer and meditation, seeking daily quiet times and remembering others in my prayers. I affirm my commitment to be a supportive member of this spiritual community by sharing my gifts of service and prosperity. And to all of you who are in this very room right now and all of you who are online, I ask you if you are now willing to affirm these folks, if you are affirming your dedication to support them, the new members and the renewing members, in their spiritual growth, to welcome them into this family and to behold the divine in them. If so, please say, I am. I am. And so we now would like to gift you with a song by Lisa Snordham Phelps, written specifically for you. We also have a gift and a gift book and a certificate for each of you. And Carl Jansen, our board treasurer and facilitator today, is distributing those. And while they are receiving their gifts, Gus, I believe we have a picture of the whole membership crew. Let's put them up as well. There's the whole tribe. Welcome home to all of you. Thank you. And now, as we prepare for our time of meditation, let's speak our affirmation of faith together. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. We'll begin with some music, followed by guidance and silence.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world, and there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, God's Spirit is in this very room, is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very, 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 very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world, and there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, God's sweet Spirit is in this very room, is in this very room, is in this very room.
Letting that peace, power that fills this very room, continue to fill our hearts and overflow. This very room, this sanctuary where we gather as spiritual community, we can walk through any fear. For there is quite enough love. And in this very room of your own heart, the inner sanctum, there is quite enough love for you too. In fact, there is so much love pouring forth from the heart of your being, from the sacred room within you, that it's too much to keep just for you. So let the love flow from this place, flood your being and flood the world. This very room cannot contain the power and the presence soul force of divine love. It can heal and protect, soothe and comfort. So let us rest here for a few moments and be fulfilled in love, the very sanctuary of our own hearts, company of spiritual community, inclusive and loving. Right here in the silence, we drink in all the plenty that is here for us. In the silence. very room has now expanded beyond the contours of our own hearts, beyond the confines of this room itself. This room, this place of refuge, sanctuary, this place of love and light is filled now, imagine, with refugees from all around the world, seeking safety and comfort. All who are weary, burdened, heavy laden, come. And I will give you rest here in this very room. And right now, energetically, you may begin to feel the room fill with all the seekers of comfort, with all the brokenhearted. In this very room is infinite spirit. There are no bounds to what can be given here. We are not bound by human energy level, physical energy, by the deep well of love and light that is ever present. As we tap it here together, it flows in a way perhaps it's never flown before. Let us each be a room, a beacon of light, a place of rest and comfort, by staying attuned to this power and this presence, the very room of our own hearts. There is plenty. Come. And so it is.
In this very room, in this very room, in this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy and there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, God's Spirit is in this very room, is in this very room, is in this very beautiful song I'm about to do is by Gott. Some people may know Michael. He's an amazing musician. And I was feeling somewhat disconnected from spirit, from God. I was kind of in my own little world and not realizing the ongoing connection. And this song kind of brought me back to it. And this song is called Nearer Than Air. It's like the air around me, like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. And all I've ever wanted, and all I ever needed, was already there. Closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air. I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. It is health to my body. It is peace to my mind. It is joy. It is joy to my soul. And I breathe out a simple prayer of thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that was singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. And I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. It is health to my body. It is peace to my mind. It is joy. It is joy. It is joy. It is joy. It is joy to my soul. And I breathe out a simple prayer, thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that was singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. It's like the air around me, like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by Amazing grace. And all I've ever wanted, and all I ever needed was already there. Closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air, nearer than the air, nearer than the air, nearer than the air. It's nearer than the air.
If you came to have your soul soothed today, check. Tyrone, thank you so much. Just breathe, right? Just when you experience when that kind of, I'm calling it soul soothing, whatever your words might be for what you just took in. Don't you just want everybody to experience that? Yeah. And they do on an energetic level when we carry it with us. You know, Unity is a healing ministry. That's how we began. That's really what's run through our many years. That's how Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder, who was really maybe you could say kind of the original founder, when she received the words that caused her to do the inner work that healed her disease, and then her husband Charles observed and he followed suit, and soon they were sharing widely with people what they had done and what they had learned and how they had healed and transformed their lives and their bodies and their experience. When I visited Unity in Kansas City, the original site of Unity, I could feel the reality of the stories that I had heard before, that presence of Myrtle very much there. And the stories were that people would come with crutches and other kinds of things, that indicated they were physically struggling, and they would go spend some time in Myrtle's office in spiritual prayer treatment, and they would leave without their crutches and whatever else that they came in with. The power of healing was so essential to what was given into our movement, and it still is today. Myrtle had a time when she recognized a couple weeks before her transition that it was time to go. And so she went around and told people that she felt she could do her work better on the other side. And within a short time, she made her transition. And so she's doing her work over there. And who carries on the movement? All of us. We are the inheritors of the Unity movement, and we are the inheritors of this healing root of our work, our spiritual work. And today, I think there are more and more people knocking on the door of our own consciousness for emotional and mental healing as much as physical healing. And we know, of course, when one gets healed, the others get healed too, so it's not a separation so much. But there is a simple and powerful tool that we can use, that is within our I don't even want to say grasp, which is within our purview, in our environment, in our surroundings, in our own beings. And it's called holding space. Now, it seems a little counterintuitive. It's like, if you're a literalist, how do you hold space? You can't, really grasp space. And we're not grasping, we're holding. And a holding is the holding open. The embracing is a wide open kind of stance with our hearts and our eyes and our ears and our whole energetic being. Taken literally, it means no sense, but taking it spiritually, it's like, yeah, that does make a lot of sense, because we know what it's like to be witnessed by somebody who can hold that kind of loving space for us to find our own way through our own process, right? And so we can also be that for others. We can carry on this movement by becoming that for others as well. Because no matter the cause, we all have a need to feel our joy and to feel our pain, right? The two are kind of closely connected. If we don't move through the pain, well, we limit our joy. And so it is that sense of the fullness of who we are as human beings being allowed in a space that somebody else can witness for us and hold for us. So whether we are in a state of pain or disappointment, whether we are in a state of joy and celebration, there is this sense that being lovingly and unobtrusively witnessed in our authentic heart space is a rare and powerful gift. And we know, probably everyone in this room can think of times when you have been witnessed in that way, when somebody truly held space for you, or maybe times when you feel like you did that for someone else, and how precious that was. And so we can make this more the norm as we develop our own skill in holding space, because it truly is a skill. And the world sorely needs it. We are all well aware of the incredible pain in the world, especially in Ukraine and Russia too, in its own way, in a different way, and throughout the world. And studies show that grief that is witnessed allows the grief symptoms to dissipate more quickly than grief that is processed alone. Yeah, and it makes sense, right? It's this intuitive sense. It's like, oh yeah, of course that makes sense, because we are meant to witness one another. And when we are witnessed, it's all of those pieces that come with that. The fact that we have been understood and seen and heard and not judged and held. We can take in that compassion, the empathy, the love, everything that is there, the comfort, everything that is there for us. And so right now, from where we are in this place, even across the world, we can hold space for an entire nation. We can hold space for our neighbor, our spouse, our parent, our child. We can hold space for someone else who is hurting. Maybe somebody who's hurting who's a person of color, who's dealing with oppression and life-threatening situations, perhaps even, or a transgender person. Or someone else who suffers those kinds of difficulties in our society right here, right now. It can be anything from a victim of war. Pain is pain is pain, right? And so we all feel it in some way. And so that gift of being witnessed. So building this skill, it's not something that was taught in school. Did anybody learn holding space in school? Do you have that class, Holding Space 101 and Advanced Holding Space? Yeah, right? Boy, what a different curriculum we would create, right? And probably not in our homes either, that many of us didn't, have the privilege of growing up in the kind of home that had that kind of consciousness where holding space was a norm. You were lucky if somebody listened to maybe something you said in passing, let alone that kind of deep, open-hearted listening. So it takes practice to really become skilled at holding space. This is not an easy thing. This is not like today is like, really, if it was like courses, this is the advanced spiritual course that you came to today. Right? So if you're brand new, my apologies, but probably you've been on a journey of your own, so you're right with us. I had a friend of my sister introduced me to Unity many years ago, and her friend left because she said Unity was too simple. And I thought, man, she just like totally missed the boat. I mean, it may be simple, but it isn't easy because it's all about doing it, right? It's all about living it and walking the talk and embodying the teachings and showing up that way. Hold space for somebody who is broken in that moment. And not make it about you. That's tough stuff. So, what do we do? Over the years, on many different occasions, I have had experiences where my car wouldn't start because the car battery died or some other thing happened and I was stranded on the side of the road, or could have been flat tire, whatever it may be. Locked my keys in the car, I'm sorry to say, more than once. And every time I had AAA that I could call. And what a relief. And every time without fail, they showed up and brought comfort and relief and solved the issue. A lot of you are nodding. I think a lot of you have had this experience, right? And so today I want to look at holding space in a AAA format because it brings a similar kind of, thank God somebody's here, you know. And so the first A is attend, to be attentive. To be attentive to a person or to a group is to listen in an active way, not what we would call autobiographical listening, where it's like, oh, and that reminds me of a story when something like that happened to me, and let me tell you about that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about open-spaced listening. It is about them. And that kind of listening allows somebody to find themselves, right? To find their way back through the stuff to the truth of who they are, or to at least some sense of like, okay, there is some ground beneath my feet. There is a place that I can call home here, that I can revitalize myself a bit in the presence of this person who is holding that expansive divine love all around me, in them, in this very room. So having the divine physically presenced for someone, which is what we do when we get really skillful at holding space, that is just such a gift. Such a gift that we can give one another, such powerful medicine for someone who is hurting. Holding space is not about saying the right thing. We do get kind of hung up on that, don't we? Out of our good, caring hearts, our compassionate hearts, right? We want to say the right thing. I've had people tell me, oh, I didn't go to my best friend's mother's memorial because I just didn't know what to say. And it's like, yeah, but you weren't there, right? It's the presence that communicates. You don't have to say anything, and you certainly don't have to say the right thing. It's the fact that we show up. That's half the battle, right? Show up, pay attention, respond in love. That's what Tom Thorpe used to say over and over again when I was in ministerial school. Wise advice. So when we do this, when we hold space in this way where we are attending, it is about this kind of non-judgmental listening, and listening with our whole being, right? Not just with our ears, but really listening. And just being with each other, not trying to fix. In Tying Rocks to Clouds, William Elliot writes this tender story about a time he was witnessing his nephew. He writes, "His eyes look at me. With his elbows on his knees, Patrick, who is 13 years old, rests his head in his hands. From time to time, he digs at the floor with the sole of his shoe, as though he were trying to wipe out an unseen spot. His freshly scrubbed hands wipe at his eyes. When he looks up at me, I see an innocence suddenly made old. His father, who is my brother, has just died. Will it help if I tell him there's a reason for everything, but we don't always know why? Will it help if I tell him that when I was about his age, I lost my mother and father too, that they died, and that those losses, because of those, I am able to be here with him and to understand his pain? Will it help if I tell him it was God's will? I have rarely seen a face so alive as Patrick's in this moment, he writes. I see familiar pain and anguish in his face. It is my face. When he cries, I say, don't let anyone ever tell you a man can't cry. And then we cry together. If he wants to talk about his father for 100 million times, I will listen. That's attending spaciously, listening to others with heart and soul, responding in love to what presents itself. So the first day is attend, and the second, allow. It's really hard to allow what is, especially when there's traumatic things like war going on. It's really hard to just go, okay, this is what's happening, right? And yet it is in our allowing, and really it's in our, and by allowing I don't mean accepting and saying it's okay, but I do mean confronting what is with eyes wide open, a willingness to look, to see, to feel, to know the pain that is happening in our own hearts and certainly of the people who are most directly affected. And so when we allow in this way, we are not spiritually bypassing the struggles of the human heart. And that's so important. Because the spiritual bypass is get to the sunny side as fast as we can, right? And it is where we all want to be. We all want to be dwelling in that joy and in that love and in that light. And we are not devoid of it, even in our pain. But we have to also acknowledge what is present, what is with the person, particularly, or the group that we are holding space for. And so we won't fix it. We won't try to avoid it. We won't distract from it. We won't paper over it. We'll just be with it, with however it shows up and however it gets expressed. What brings to mind to mind for me, or what comes to mind, is the movie Lars and the Real Girl. Anybody see that movie? It's kind of an oldie, yeah. In Lars and the Real Girl, Lars has a delusional love affair with a fake girlfriend. And the people in the small town where he lives learn over time how to hold space for him. How to hold space and allow Lars to go through his entire experience of this love affair. And to come to the place where he's ready to release her and he can invent his own illness for her. And then to say when it's time to have the funeral. And the town shows up. The doctor shows up when she's ill. The town shows up for the funeral. The minister gives a memorial. I mean, it's really incredible how they hold space for this young man's healing. And the scene that always really sticks in my mind is when 3 neighbors, women, knock on Lars's door. And they come in with their knitting and their casseroles. And Lars is sitting there eating some of the casserole in the living room with his robe and his pajamas on. And the 3 women are just sitting there and knitting. And Lars isn't sure what to do. And he says, am I supposed to do something here? And one of the women, as she knits, says, this is what people do when tragedy strikes. We come and sit with one another. And I would say we knit each other back together in that way. This is what we're called to do, to sit with the pain, Ugh. Anybody want to run for the door? We do, right? And our society will give us every way to do that possible. You will get every distraction, every fix-it idea, every solution, every politically ideological, whatever it is. But I want to encourage us to stay with this, to really stay with what it is that we are able to provide as we spiritually hold space. It's potent, it's healing, it's transformative, and it's what the world sorely needs. And we can provide it. We've got the legacy of it. We've got the ancestry of it. We've all had our own spiritual and life journeys of the human heart. We know how to do this. We may not be perfect at it yet, but that's why we're developing our skill. So there's another part to allowing that isn't just about allowing what is present in the human heart and the pain and the expression of it, but is also allowing the power of spirit to be there. It's not just present moment, being in the present moment with another person, but presencing, right? So it's the divine presence that permeates the moment that we also want to allow to come forward, because that's where the healing energy is. And so if we also allow the bigger picture, if we can hold somebody in the space of their pain and then hold a much bigger picture at the same time, this is where it all happens, right? Where the healing really happens. And so it's that allowing, that finding the capacity within ourselves to open up space so spirit can move through the situation. And that means opening up space within ourselves to become a vessel, to become a channel, to become empty, and allow spirit to be the guide, allow spirit to come in the forefront. And let the rest of our being be in service to it. Let the ego be in service to the Christ. Sylvia Boorstein writes in It's Easier Than You Think, which is a great title, remembering the sphere of the cosmos point of view, remembering Earthrise from the moon, remembering the interconnectedness of beings, all these remembrances make it possible to look more directly at pain. Perhaps it is the necessary perspective for seeing pain clearly, for being able to stand it. And we can withstand it because it is not I, but the Christ within, the divine within, that does the work. That was a little poster or affirmation that was at every desk at Silent Unity, our World Prayer Ministry when I worked there. Probably still there. And I can tell you there were many times when my eyes rested upon it while I was praying for someone, and it helped me get out of the way. And that kind of knowing, that kind of grounding in the spirit that we are, and then letting it take charge. It takes skill, it takes work, it takes time to learn how, but all we have to do is be willing. And even give it over to Spirit and say, teach me. Spirit, teach me. Teach me how to be a space holder for a world that needs more space holders. Teach me how to be open. Teach me how to attune. Teach me how to allow. Teach me how to attend. And don't forget to breathe. That song that Tyrone shared about the breath was just so right on for the kind of practice that we can do. There's actually a Buddhist practice called Tonglen that is a similar idea of breathing in the pain of the world, which might feel a little counterintuitive to our teachings, but just hang on. Because you are grounded and anchored first in the spirit. And so where you are breathing into is to that spirit that is within you. So it's just pure light, pure love. It's not your personality taking it in. It's you taking it into the heart of you, taking it into that inner room, that place that is filled with light and love, and breathing in the pain of the world because the power is there to make the transformation. The power is there to transform it into the light and the love that is needed. and to breathe it out and radiate it out from there. And so it's that work of breath. As we breathe using the breath, we can find calm confidence in ourselves, and we can find that spaciousness to get our smaller selves out of the way so the conscious divine presence can do the work. And as we breathe in, remember, 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 it is not I that does the work. So the final step, so that's the allowing, but it kind of flows into the attuning, because the attuning is attuning to spirit. The attuning is attuning to the other person. The attuning is recognizing what's happening inside of you so you can say kind of, okay, stand down, ego, and keep that part of us at bay. It's not a part that we, need to eradicate. We need our egos, but in this kind of work, we want it to take as far back seat as possible, right? And so when there's that sudden sense of, I something like that happened to me, and you want to tell your story, or you want to respond, or you're thinking about how you're going to respond to what the person is saying, or you realize what they said just took you off to some distant memory that you've had, you just bring it back and go, oh no, I'm here to be a spiritual space holder. I'm here to be a channel. I'm here to be an empty space, an open space, so that the divine can do its work. I'm attuned to spirit. I'm attuned to what is needed here. I'm attuned to the energy in this space. I'm attuned to the powerful gift I have been given in this moment to be able to do this for someone else. And so it is that attunement that's very much like the witness tree. The witness tree is a tree that has lived maybe many decades, maybe centuries. Some of them have lived thousands of years that are still alive on the planet. A witness tree has stood all this time watching, allowing, bearing witness. Anybody ever feel like you've been witnessed by a tree? Yeah, that strength, right? The strength, the rootedness, if it's a big tree, that sense of power and wisdom that's there, and those outreaching branches maybe providing you some shade or a place to rest. So we can think about yourself as becoming like a witness tree when you are a spiritual space holder. It's that kind of gift of presence, of rootedness and silence that really allows the work to happen, the healing to happen. So someone out there, probably a lot of them, if we begin to listen as spirit listens, we're going to hear a lot of folks yelling, can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? And maybe you're one of them, right? And there will be someone there to provide relief, especially for those of us who have said yes to the call and done a little bit of the work to hone our skill. And then we can be the ones to say, I will be your witness. Don't you want to witness for the people of Ukraine? I will be their witness. Will you be their witness? Let's be their witness. Let's not flinch. Let's not look away. Let's look, but let's look with the eyes of love. Let's know that it is not I that does the work, but I am attuned now to spirit, and I let that love flow through me and heal whoever needs healing. Bring forth comfort to whoever needs comfort right now. Bring a sense of grounding to those who need a sense of ground beneath their feet. So this is the call. This is the call of our movement. This is where we are now. I hope we'll all step in and step up and allow ourselves to ask when we are hurting for this kind of witnessing and to offer it as much as we are able. Let's know it together. Let's speak it together. But most of all, let's embody it and live it together. So let's say our affirmation. I am a spiritual space holder for healing and transformation. So it is.
Thank you, Kristen. It was great. I've spent time in the mountains, and I am kind of a tall guy, but I've been around giant sequoias. They're a lot taller than I am, and when I'm around them, I get that exact feeling that you've just been there for so long, and you just stand next to them, and they just allow you to be. So I appreciate that imagery, because I'm going to stick with that. Our prayer chaplains are available after this service to provide personal prayer support. If you're a prayer chaplain serving today, please stand. There they are. I'll buy all over the church right now. As you can see, our prayer chaplains have on the lavender stoles.
Whether you have a joy or concern in your heart, today praying with our prayer chaplains is a powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness.
Now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive. For in truth, there is no lack or limitation, and abundance is our true nature.
For your convenience, there's a variety of ways to give to our community. In addition to checks and cash, you may download the Give app, G-Y-V-E, and use it to pay with your credit card. We also can pay with credit card or debit card with the envelopes provided in the clipboard in the back of your chair. And you can also set this up through your bank. Those of you at home may click on the live watch page, the donate button.
So now I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and repeat our affirmation with me. Together, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. Thank you.
So this song is an original. It's called God is the Only Power, but I want to give you some context. So how many people are familiar with Jack and Cornelia? Addington, right? Your Needs Met. Anyone has that little book in their library? Beautiful book. It's on page 9, so I got their permission to use the words to this beautiful song. I hope I do it justice. And also I want to honor my beautiful wife. This is Felicia. Would you all give her some love? You are my rock, darling. You are my rock. I appreciate you so much. I got my air guitar. Wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Doesn't that feel good? Yeah. Kind of nice and easy, huh? God is the only power in my life. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power. Nothing from without can touch the perfect life of God within in me. No past experience has power over me. None over me. I'm a perfect child of God within, and nothing that anyone has ever done or said can interfere with my divine inheritance. The power of God is greater than any circumstance in my life. The strength of God is mine to use. God is the only power. And if you sing that with me, God is the only power in my life. 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 God is the only power. Come on, Mason. Turning away from all feeling of inadequacy, I discover that all that I need is within me right now. As I forgive the past, I find that I have nothing to atone for, nothing to run away from. Casting off the old, casting off the old me, I discover my true self. I take dominion in my life. Oh, habits have no power over me. Conditions have no power over me. Personalities have no power over me. Take a deep breath, me right? Deep breath, right? Go. I take dominion. I am whole. I am free. I am complete. No, 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 no. Whoa. God is the only power. God is the only power in my life. Come on, sing it. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power in my life. God is the only power. God is the only power. I said, God is the only power. God is the only power. Hey, 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 hey. I said, my God is the only, 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 God is the only power. The only power, and it lives within you. Woo, thank you.
Well, thank you, Tyrone and band. Really wonderful to have all of you. Welcome. They come bearing gifts. And these gifts are multiplied, and these gifts are a representation of the overflowing prosperity that is us and that is flowing out into the world at this very moment. Let's bless it and multiply it together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is. But we have the treat of the children back with us. Come on in.
job, Julia. Yay! Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is so good to be back up here with the kids. It's just amazing. Yeah, we're excited. So we have little Julia here and her mom, Megan, Maddie and Millie, and Adrian here today. And, you know, I was here for the 9:30 service and heard the message about holding space, and I had a whole lesson planned for today, and we just ended up blowing bubbles. So we're just holding space for, you know, what our kids need. And our kids just need connection right now and to be together and to play. So we blew bubbles from the balcony, and we blew bubbles from the top of the picnic table. We blew bubbles from the top of the slide, and we popped bubbles, and it was amazing. So anything you guys want to add about that? We need more bubbles, right? Our bubble supplies are low, so.
I think we all need some bubbles.
Yes. Yeah, so anyway, thanks so much, and have a great week.
Let's bless our children and teachers together. Children and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. And now I invite you to join in the prayer of protection, and if you'd like to send this prayer of protection to Ukraine or anywhere else that's on your mind and heart today, let's be deliberate about our sending. And knowing the I am is all of us, right? Is the truth in us. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And now the peace song.
Peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With love ever present, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. This must be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment, peace eternally. Oh, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Yes.
You are the light and the love and the peace on earth, so let your light shine, have fun, and spread joy. So it is.